Alrighty. Let's see.
Your channel. Here it is.
Who's that? What's going on?
I spell? Okay. I cannot.
Whew. Oh, really? Some notices up.
To the people.
All right. We ready to get going?
Yes, we are. Make me co-host,
right.
inshallah.
I think I didn't I? No?
Oh.
I think you got it.
All right,
Co-host.
we're
All right. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله. الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. أما بعد. Okay, welcome to another R2F show. Sorry we keep changing the times on you guys, but times are changing for Salat, availability. So but we're doing our best to try to get a consistent schedule. So tonight's show, we're going to be reviewing some content, I guess you could call it that well, if people that's been paying attention, as in our opinion, are a direct result of the dawah that we've been given for the last, was it 3 years?
Yeah.
Whatever. The R2F channel putting out stuff, actually the R2F show specifically. TMOA has actually enlisted their tech specialists to start producing their own content in an attempt to try to drown out
That's being
what
said.
we've been saying.
Yeah.
Which has been quite unsuccessful, in my opinion. For anybody with the eyes open and watch this stuff and see how ridiculous the stuff that they're putting out is. I mean, it just really just confirms everything we've been saying for the last several years. And we're going to go over some of that stuff tonight. The good thing is that it gives us endless material to talk about, to show the contradictions, the delusion, the falsehood, and everything else related to the cult of TMOA. So our other co-host, Mubarak's going to be a little late. He'll be jumping on soon. But we're just going to play some content and kind of go in there. If you have any questions about anything or have any like thing to mention about the content that we didn't say, go ahead and put it in the chat. We'll bring it up. We're also going to be discussing the future changes that we're going to be making to some of the content we put out there, specifically the with the R2F show, and we'll talk about that later in the show. So.
All right, shukran for opening us up, Sheikh. I do want to give credit to this lady who I had doubted. I didn't think she'd actually stand on anything important. And so a lot of folks know her and didn't think that I would ever say this, but listen, Candace Owens, you did your thing, all right? You out here. I was like, listen, she's never gonna stand with Brother Kyrie. But there she was standing with Brother Kyrie. So shout out to Candace Owens. Candace. Let's see. Hopefully this works. Movie too. So this is if you can see this is the Honorable Khalifa Hussein Adams, K2, as he's known by everyone who's not in the Jamaat. He is giving a speech here at a mosque near Binghamton, Jafar, I think you said.
It's in Utica, I believe. I want to say.
And so
which is like 2 hours from Binghamton.
Okay. And so he's giving this speech about the Milad al-Nabi. And we're going to watch this together, inshallah. So it's on.
الصلاة والسلام عليك يا إمام المرسلين خاتم النبيين ورحمة للعالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد كما صليت وعلى آل إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت وعلى آل إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته وعليكم السلام صل على رسوله الكريم. Greetings, millions of salutations and salawat upon Rahmatan lil Alameen sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. I traveled 400 miles today. I was in Canada. These brothers were in Holy Islamburg, and I think some sisters came as well. But we traveled to Utica, New York, because we heard that there was Milad al-Nabi. So it wasn't our physical bodies that took us to Utica, New York.
Pause it.
It was
wait. Of course it wasn't your physical bodies. You guys drove there. It's not like you guys walked 400 miles to Utica, New York from Canada. Obviously.
But you see how they try to make every single thing esoteric?
Yep.
Your physical, we are literally looking at your physical bodies.
Right,
you didn't teleport there. You didn't like morph there. You didn't spontaneously just go up in Utica, New York. You literally just said you drove 400 miles.
But not physically though. Yeah, their body.
Yeah. I mean, this stuff works on like kids like that don't pay attention. Oh, said his physical body didn't bring him there. Well, yeah, it did. But that pointed out everything's not an esoteric like trip. Like just keep it real, man.
You would hope, inshallah. It's only a minute in all.
One main reason.
Oh, no sound.
No sound?
And that one reason.
The sound just disappeared.
Oh, okay. Let's reshare this, I guess. K2 is a very, very one of a kind.
Is that within our hearts and within your hearts, there exists a love for Muhammad, Sayyidina Muhammad. So no matter what part of the world we are in, what city, state, or country, the lovers of Muhammad gather, come together to praise Nabi Muhammad. As Mufti Saab said in Holy Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He and the malaika praise Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. O creation, O mankind, you too praise Him. But the significance of this is the only time where we have the opportunity to praise Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam simultaneously at the same time that Allah
Pause
Ta'ala is
it.
praising
All right, yeah, no. Perfect timing
Oh
too.
yeah,
'Cause-
good move. Yeah, perfect timing for Mubarak to come in on this one. So first, I want to address the part about, and this is what a lot of people do, right? So for instance, you can't claim you love something and then go against everything that the person or the thing that you're claiming you love stands for, has advised. You can't do that, right? That goes against love. That's just like, the abuser who, the husband or the wife that abuses their spouse, whether they verbally abuse, physically abuse, whatever. Then at the same time, they sit there and say, well, but I love you, right? You have people who say, oh, I love America, but then they don't like actually stand for like any American values. You have people who say, I love Islam, but then they don't pray, they don't practice anything. Just like we have people who say, we love Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? But they actually don't follow the things that he said. So what does Rasul say? Like when you want to show your love to him, how you show your love to him? By following him, by obeying him, by following his guidance, right? By trying to do everything exactly like how he did it, right? To the best of our ability. And for all those people out there who believe that celebrating the Milad, specifically in the ways that a lot of people like TMOA celebrate the Milad, Rasul did not do that. Nor did the people, the Sahabas that were around him, the companions, nor did they do that. So when you want to show your love, whether your love for Allah, your love for Rasul, your love for this religion of Islam, is that you have to follow what Allah and Rasul told us, and not just make up your own things or follow things that are not supported by what Allah and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam have said to do. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, Mubarak, you came in right in where
Perfect time.
maybe we can rewind and let it
Yeah.
play for him so he can get the full effect of what he just said.
Yeah, so you're gonna hear your childhood friend K2K. All right.
O mankind, you too praise him. But the significance of this is the only time where we have the opportunity to praise Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam simultaneously at the same time that Allah Ta'ala is praising him. No other time can we and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praise anyone or anything.
So please pause it, please.
What?
So he's saying,
yeah, that's
Yeah.
clear. That's clearly that's clearly false. Because first of all, there are angels that all they do is praise and worship Allah. That's number one. So there's always, it's simultaneous. Also, there is simultaneously, even on the earth, even if we just look at the times, there is always going to be simultaneously at some point in time. There's never a time during the day where someone will not be making salah or doing some remembrance of Allah. And as we know, in every salah, there is the worship of Allah and also the durood that are sent on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So there's always there's always someone praying round the clock. And so also on top of that, I correct me if I'm wrong, but Allah did not give K2 his schedule for when he does anything. So Allah does whatever he wants, whenever he wants. So when the ayah says, Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi, you don't have Allah's schedule, and Allah can do it, whenever he wants to, or continuously, or whatever. So you don't realize that there's always someone remembering Allah and sending durood and salawat and salam on Rasulullah always around the clock, constantly. It doesn't stop, and you don't have Allah's schedule. So how are you even opening your mouth and saying this? This is not true. Just on this one day, actually the day that he died, this the only golden opportunity, and then 364 days out of the year, or however you want to do it. If you want to do the lunar calendar, it's a little bit less than that, but it's just moot. Just Oh well,
Yeah.
just sit on your hands because you're never going to sync it up. That's baloney.
And considering the fact that I guess for centuries, no Muslims did this until the Shiites started selling the Milad,
Yep.
however many centuries after Rasulullah Sallallahu. So I guess no one knew this until the Shiites started doing this. Like when you start studying, just getting involved in like trying to learn your deen, and whether it's just sitting at lectures or watching YouTube videos, whatever, you get to learn how people of at least a little bit of knowledge speak. So what he should have said whatever he said, and then say, Allah says he
Right
does
here.
this on the Milad,
Yeah.
and ayat so and so and so and so. And Rasulullah said in this in so and so Sahih Hadith that this only happens on the Milad. This is called winging it and just making stuff up, and this is stereotypical of all deviant sects of Islam.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you pay attention earlier in the video, he has a few points, right? And then he backs those points up with the Quran or the Hadith that he has readily handed to him, right? And then after he runs out of that, he's like, okay, well, now it's time to just go off my head. And this is exactly what he learned from his teacher, his perfect guide, Murshid Hamil, was to just freelance stuff, because Mubarak Jelani would read from a book and then close the book and then just start going AWOL. So clearly he learned from his Murshid Hamil.
Yeah, one of the principles that the ulama and the shuyukh and the people of knowledge follow is that whenever you make statements, you should always know who preceded you in this statement. So if you're saying that only on the 12th of Rabiul Awwal does Allah and all the people sync up in their own, that's the only time when everyone is doing Darood and Salawat and Salam on Rasulullah at the same time. So at the very least, he should have quoted someone. Okay, maybe he doesn't have the hadith and the Quran that would back that up. There isn't anything that backs that up, but just for argument's sake, that it's a principle that you follow, and that is you should never be the first one to say a statement like that. You should it doesn't come from you, because as we know, Allah is not giving any revelation to you or us or anything like that. So the reason why you take that statement from a predecessor or someone, your teacher, someone above you, is because then we can extrapolate that and we can trace that statement all the way back to the messenger and back to Allah. Because what you're doing is he's standing at that pulpit in that group, but he's speaking on behalf of Allah. And if you are telling a lie or fabrication, or you are speaking without knowledge about Allah, this is one of the goals of Shaitan, to get you to say about Allah what you don't know. And Allah says this in the Quran. So the first thing, you should have picked up the Quran, and he would have understand that Shaitan had led him astray without him knowing.
Darood Sharif, salams upon Nabi sallallahu
Sallallahu.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in creating Sayyidina Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, every part of creation at his birth, this is 12th Rabiul Awwal. Every part of creation.
Is it the 12th when he passed, or am I mistaken? Okay,
So we know for a fact he passed away on the 12th of Rabiul Awwal.
Yeah.
As far as his day of birth, it is disputed. There's so many days that the scholars, according to authentic sources, as much as we can, have theorized of what day he was born. You have, I think the 10th is one, the 12th is one, the 6th. There's like 4 or 5 different opinions on when he was actually born. So we actually don't know. And there's Mubarak had mentioned this in a previous episode. It's actually a great wisdom in that we actually don't know exactly what day he was born. But again, where's his hadith? Where's his Quran? Where's his scholars that said these things? It's just winging it. And he probably got some of this stuff from some goofy Sufi book where it's just full of these type of stories.
Yeah, he could have just said like he was born on a Monday and then just went with that instead of just at least something known would have been better for him.
Everything wet, everything dry, everything not seen and invisible that you cannot see. Every part of creation on 12th of Rabi al-Awwal praise Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when you hear some people say, brother, this is bid'ah, this is, you cannot do this. You follow Quran and Sunnah, bas, khalas, it's good, finish.
How dare? Wait, no. Is he taking advice from his nephew Noor when Noor was like, "Y'all love quoting those Quran hadiths"? Like this is basically what he just said in a more sophisticated adult term. Like, yes, we do follow the Quran and Sunnah, which is what you should be doing. Like, why is that being like insulted? Like he's trying to make a mockery of people saying that because it's in support of the Quran and Sunnah, this is bad. No, this is a good thing. This is what you should be following, Mr. K2. Who's saying that?
To even utter that out of your mouth that, oh, we only follow the Quran and the Sunnah. I mean, it's the same thing as saying we only follow Allah and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But you're saying that's like you're looking down on that, you're mocking that, that's not sufficient for you. I mean, the religion of Islam is sufficient for me. I don't know what is for them.
I'm wondering if he was about to, if he was saying that to set up a point that he was about to make. That's why I'm thinking maybe he was saying this is what they're saying, and then maybe he was about to say, well, we do have the Quran and Sunnah, and here it is. Maybe that's what was coming.
Maybe.
So
Let us hope. Let us hope.
But Allah Ta'ala praises Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He commands us to praise Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And when we praise Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, it is the on this brings the nur in our graves. Life is very short. May Allah send His blessings upon all of your family members, upon your Murshid Kamil, upon the awliya, the Sufiya.
Hold up, stop right here.
Wait. So other folks have perfect receipts too. It's not just like a analogous thing, because for so long, and this is what the Jamaat has been preaching for so long, is that their guide, Mubarak Jilani, he was the Murshid Kamil. He is the perfect being. He is the one perfect guide to guide all mankind. So K2 is here pandering to the crowd, obviously, which I mean, he's your speaker, you do. But he's pandering to the crowd and saying that their Murshid is also perfect. How are two perfect beings existing at the same time? Explain this to me. Anyone in the Jamaat, please.
So okay, I'll humor him with this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they have a perfect Murshid Kamil. TMOA has a perfect Murshid Kamil. So it shouldn't matter which one is one better, or does it matter if TMOA just decided, if some of the people of TMOA just decided, you know what, we're just going to give our dues, we're going to give our Social Security check, and we're going to snatch the welfare check from my grandma's last Social Security check from her and give it to this other perfect Murshid Kamil. I mean, is that okay? I'll answer for them. It's no, because it's not about the alleged guidance guiding mankind. Because if this Murshid Kamil is perfect too, you can just go to him. But they will never say that it's okay for you to just follow what that Murshid Kamil says. They won't. They'll tell you straight up, no. Ours is better. But is he? If I say, no, these are perfect. Perfect means that it's without deficiency. And this in itself is shirk. This is shirk because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one who is perfect, and Allah will determine. I don't know that, and someone could correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know that Allah has described Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as being perfect. What he describes him as is being a example, a
best example,
they have the best example for you, and many things. But there are times in when Rasulullah says that he makes istighfar for his mistakes, and there are ayahs in Quran in which Allah says that he's forgiven Rasulullah for his past and future mistakes and these things. So Rasulullah is the best of mankind. He is excellent and no one can compare to him. But I don't know that Allah has described him, Rasulullah, as being perfect. But Allah has described himself, and Rasulullah has described Allah as being perfect. Subhanallah. In that word, it gives you within that definition, it's more than just the word perfect, but it's saying that Allah is free from any deficiency, free from any imperfections. That's only for Allah. So you saying my perfect anything is giving something or someone the attribute of Allah, and no one has the attributes of Allah except for Allah. These are exclusively for Him. Perfection is for Allah alone, without deficiency of any kind, no weakness, no area where there could be some improvement, no area. That's perfect. Even if you look at the man, there's so many areas of deficiency, weakness, sickness, and all types of other things. So that doesn't even fit in any sense of the word. So definitely not for Jilani or any other sheikh. They could possibly be good. They could be outstanding. They could be really good people and really good men, but nobody is perfect, not in anything. Only Allah is perfect. You can be really good. You can be very strong, but perfection is only for Allah. And if you give it to someone else, then that is committing shirk. And that's the main thing you got to stay away from. You have to stay away from that. It's the only thing Allah won't forgive. How do y'all keep chasing this shirk? I mean, it's like, even if shirk was trying to get away, y'all wouldn't be able to. Y'all literally just following it. Everywhere shirk can be found, you'll find TMOA there, just swimming in it. It's really it's at this point it's ridiculous.
And we have the hadith in Bukhari, which, you know, he keeps using the word praise and praise Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? And yes, we are commanded to send salawat, praise him, to honor him, to send blessings and prayers upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is what we are commanded to do, and everything comes with context. And this is the problem with these groups like TMOA. One, they pander to anybody that lets them speak in front of them, right? So they go to the Christians and like, yeah, it's okay that, you know, Jesus is the Son of God. We have trouble understanding it too. You know what I mean, right? They go in front of some other Sufi group. Yeah, your sheikh is perfect too, Murshid Kamil. But anyway, Rasulullah told us in Sahih Bukhari, he said, do not exaggerate in praising me. Do not exaggerate in praising me, as Christians praise the son of Maryam, alayhi salam. For I am only a slave, so call me the slave of Allah and his messenger. Right? He didn't say call me Murshid Kamil, right? He didn't say call me perfect. Like we have to really pay attention to what Allah says and what Rasulullah says. And even though these speeches may like get you stirred up or may invoke some kind of emotions or whatever, like you really have to step back and say, what did Allah say? What did Rasulullah say? Okay. And if this person is not supporting what they say with what Allah said and what Rasulullah said, then I'm really not going to listen to it.
Yeah. It's just be it. Where in the world? Okay.
And all those lovers of Muhammad. But when Malik al-Maut comes and takes our breath, it is the nur of Muhammad, the utterance from your lisan. That is what creates and brings nur in your grave. That is what creates and brings success in this life and the akhirah. On Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, on the last day of judgment, Yawm al-Qiyamah,
Can we pause it right there?
He will
for 1 second.
Gotcha.
This is made up. There's two things I will say, and then we can continue. Is that number one, he said, what puts Nur in the grave? What puts Nur in the grave is that you love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So in that case, Abu Talib would have, his grave would be lit up because he loved Rasulullah very much, and put more on the line for Rasulullah than probably you could stack, you know, what he did for Rasulullah and protecting him and supporting him and loving him with almost anyone else in history. And so there's no doubt that he loved Rasulullah. And hey, come out of there. Got a rogue kid running around. And there's no indication that he got some light in his grave. But Rasulullah did tell us what will put light in your grave. And that one of the things is reading Surah Al-Mulk. See, these people are playing games. Why don't you just follow what Allah and His Messenger say? If you want light in your grave, that's how you do it. Of course, loving Rasulullah is part of Iman. It's part of Islam. You can't truly be a Muslim and be complete if you don't love Rasulullah, as the Hadith says. Your Iman is not complete until you love Rasulullah more than your wife, more than your siblings and children and wealth and everything else. You have to love him more than anything else. That's when your iman is that's when you truly are a believer. But these people love their murshid, their sheikh, more than Rasulullah. Why? Because they disregard what Rasulullah says and they follow their sheikh. They disregard what Rasulullah says not to do. They disregard what Allah says not to do. They push to the side things that Allah says directly for them to do, and instead they follow made up things from a guy who makes up things, and that's their sheikh. So those are two things. But yeah, you can continue.
1% of the time for accountability. 1% of the time, the deeds, good deeds, bad deeds. 99% of the rest of time will be praising Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. On Yawm al-Qiyamah, last day, everything finished, done.
Mark, have you ever heard of that hadith?
Never. And one of the things, see, this is one of the things. This is where the Arabs during that time, in the time of Rasulullah, they had a certain way of speaking. They used certain phrases and certain ways to explain things in numbers.
99% never.
Yeah, they didn't use things like 1%, 99%. They would use fractions. Sometimes they would say a third or a tenth, or they would use a number or something like that. But and this is one of the ways that the muhaddithin, they're able to identify a fabricated hadith outright without even the person. They can just stop the person from talking because they know that the Sahaba and the messenger during that time, and just the Arabs in general during that time, they didn't speak like that. They didn't use these type of words and phrases, or things like when they say, "Oh, Rasulullah ate rice," or things like that. They didn't even have rice during that time. And certain things that they try to put into the word, into the mouth of Rasulullah, they shut it down by things like this. So I am not a muhaddithin. I don't know all of the hadith, but I have never come across a hadith in which even this type of wording was used. But on top of that, to say that 99% of the time, it's going to be spent praising Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then 1% is going to be, judgment. I've never heard it, but I would love for them to bring the dalil for that. And if it's authentic, well, then we'll believe in it, and we will expect that to take place. But I'm pretty sure this is a fabrication along with all the other fabrications. Maybe this is somebody, and what happens is during the time where people would fabricate a lot of hadith, is that they would exaggerate because they wanted to match or try to have some comeback for the Christians or for other, deviant sects or whatever. So when, what Allah does say is that, he split, and don't quote me on the wording, but as far as his rahmah, his mercy, 100 parts, 99 parts of his rahmah, he said for Judgment Day, and for the akhirah, and forgiving and having mercy, and only one out of 100 is for just the normal rahmah that's in this world. That's like a mother has mercy in her heart for her children, and a father has mercy on his wife and children, and how a wild animal doesn't kill its offspring. This type of rahmah, all of this is in just that one part. and the other 99, or you could say 99%, because it's 1 out of 100 or 99 out of 100, okay, is the rahmah that Allah reserved for him having mercy on his creation on the Qiyamah. But you know, to flip that, to take that and then say, oh, that 99% is 1% is going to be just dealing with the affairs of Judgment Day, and then 99% of the time is just going to be praising Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I mean, when there are a hadith, and even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam talks about how, as far as shafa'ah is concerned, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will actually spend an extraordinary amount of time himself in sujood, praising Allah. And then when he said it, and Rasulullah said that he was going to go into sujood and he's going to stay there for as long as Allah wills for him to stay there, then he's going to get up. And then Allah is going to ask him what he wants, and then Allah will give him permission for some shafa'ah for a certain amount of people, and then he will do that again. He's going to do that multiple times. So a significant portion of time in the akhirah, Rasulullah himself said that he would be praising Allah, that Rasulullah would be praising Allah in so that he can ask for forgiveness for those people. So how is they going to flip this all the way around without any dalil, without any evidence, is amazing.
The thing is if you read anything about the Day of Judgment, there's plenty of books out there. There's a book by Ibn Kathir that goes over all the authentic hadiths and the details of what happens after we die and the whole process. You can go read the tafsirs. You can go look at the tafsirs of all the surahs in the last juice. It's all about the Day of Judgment. And you look at what the scholars say, you look what everything is set up, everything from resurrection till enter paradise and judgment and all that is all Allah establishing that he is Allah and the Lord of the worlds. Every single bit of it, 100% of it is all about Allah is Allah, right? Everything. Allah says all the time in the Quran, like, no one will even speak without my permission.
Yeah.
I mean, that includes everybody, not Rasulullah, not the angels, Angel Jibreel. Nobody will speak without Allah giving them permission. And they will only say what he gives them permission to say. You know, and it's so if you wanted to honor Rasulullah, we want to show the respect that we have for Rasulullah, just say what's authentic. Like Mubarak just mentioned about the intercession, about how, you know, everybody runs around to each prophet asking them, like, when's the judgment going to start? When's the judgment going to start? And they say that for like 40 years, we're baking in the sun, running around with our clothes off, uncircumcised, scared as heck. And we're all asking the prophet, and all the prophets are saying, I'm only worried about myself. I'm only worried about myself. You know, leave me alone. And it's actually Rasulullah is actually the one that's like, basically, like I said, make do and say, Allah, can you start the judgment now? And because Rasulullah asked, Allah gives him that honor. I'll start the judgment now. So it's just quote, what Allah and Rasulullah has given us is sufficient, is more than sufficient, and you'll never even be able to grasp all that. So why start adding and making stuff up? It's not necessary. I mean, we've covered this guy's talks before, and I hate to say it, Hussein Adams, you have to stop talking because you are ignorant. I mean, we acknowledge our ignorance, but when we're as ignorant as we are, like, you are clearly ignorant, and you're misguiding people.
Absolutely.
The Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So keep your tongue saturated in zikr. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala ali Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Mawlana Muhammadin nabil ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi barik sallam. It gives you protection, it gives you salvation, it gives you success, it brings happiness to you, to your family, it brings protection to you, to your children. The homes that have this within their hearts. Again, look, the hearts come together for love of Nabi. No matter where we are, Africa, South America, Burma, doesn't matter, India, Pakistan, if you love Nabi, hearts come together. And when hearts come together, they can never be separated. They can never be defeated. This is the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us. He has rewarded us barakah so that we can take advantage of this. Inshallah.
First of all, how did they let him speak?
And that's a made up statement. When hearts come, I mean, it sounds nice. It sounds romantic. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But it's made up. It's not even factual. It's not even accurate. Not even just us just thinking to ourselves when hearts come together. How many people's hearts have been together and now they're separated? First of all, that's number one. So to say that when hearts come together, they can never be separated, that's not even true. Also, what does Rasulullah say? He was the one who made dua. It says, Ya muqallib al-qulub. You know, that Allah is the one who turns the hearts. Allah is the one. So what he should have said was a dua. He should have made dua and asked Allah to make their hearts firm and keep them together. Not to say they can never be separated, because that's a lie. It's not even true.
Yeah.
They can be turned and separated, and Allah is the one who controls that. So that's what he should have said. But you know, that's what they throw the truth or the facts or the dalil, the evidence out the window for some romanticism or some fancy flowery speech. It's not even really even that good or fancy or nice. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's not true. And when you're talking about the religion, you have to be accurate. When you're speaking on behalf of Allah and His Messenger, you have to be accurate. Otherwise, you're going to pay the price. And whoever follows him, whoever is listen to this and be like, yeah, that's the truth. Listen very carefully. This is how you can tell. Just listen for Allah said. Rasul said. When you don't hear people going too long, if they're going too long without mentioning what Allah said or Rasul said, and they're just talking, you know, off the hip, it's probably made up, especially if they have a track record of just making stuff up. And we've covered that before. He definitely does.
He said two authentic things in that whole speech.
Yep. At the very beginning.
Darood Ibrahim and the ayat of sending salawat on Rasulullah. Yep. That's it.
But then he used them. He used them to say something misguided. Like he
yeah.
It's like
I mean, no, go ahead. It's just, I mean, they're gonna keep on putting this stuff out, and I mean, I really hope these people like at least listen to us. Like, you might not like us, you might not like what we're saying, you might disagree with us. At least for your own sake, and I believe if you at least follow this advice, eventually Allah will guide you, if Allah wills, to what is true. Support what you're saying. You want to go make a speech, whatever point you want to make, go to the Holy Quran and the authentic hadiths and make sure it's supported by that. If you get in that habit, you will find that a lot of stuff that you believe and were taught was like, oh, that's actually wrong. And if you're not arrogant, you'll accept the truth when it comes to you. And you know what? We won't be making videos here about the nonsense and misguidance that you're spreading.
Once day, as soon as y'all stop, we will stop. Because I mean, that's really all we're saying. Like, I don't have a problem. We don't have a problem with someone living on the land. It's not an issue. The issue is the shirk and the bid'ah that you guys trying to skate around now by pushing out content to try and I mean, we're gonna make 1,000 fluff pieces videos and flood the internet with content about what did he do. Oh yeah, sorry, I had to cut that video. And I just remember. So yeah, like they haven't said anything of substance. They haven't defended their beliefs at all. Instead, they're trying to practice their beliefs in silence. It seems like it's actually like quite sad, because if someone came to me and was like, "Hey, y'all at R2F, especially you, Jaffer and Mubarak, you guys are upon misguidance and falsehood," and I'm like, "Okay, where's your evidence?" Right? And then if someone can give me evidence, I'll be like, "Okay, I'll take this into consideration." Y'all get the evidence from us, all the sources, and y'all just ignore it, and it's actually quite sad, because a part of you knows that this is fake, because y'all not gonna go somewhere else and be like, yeah, let me just promote these beliefs. It's not the
what's crazy is that the mentality that comes along with this, because they're not trying to guide anybody outside of TMOA, right? They're not like, they didn't go to this function and be like, yeah, our sheikh is this, you guys should really follow us and this and that, right? They didn't do that. On these videos, their sole target is TMOA members that watch our videos.
Yep.
And I mean, let's look at this. They even look at the name, what they named the YouTube channels. They have basically scrubbed Jilani from like the forefront. They've actually
Yeah.
it's like whenever your favorite football team stadium goes through naming rights or whatever, it used to be Sunville Stadium and now it's just ripped it off. It's the same team.
Yeah.
It's the same organization, but they just ripped the name down and put some else because it's the PR or new ownership or whatever the case may be, but it's the same team. Y'all running the same place, but instead of it being Quranic International Open or whatever university by it, Sheikh Said El Hashimi or whatever his name is, all these different names, they kind of just try to truncate it. IQOU, what was it now? I forgot the name of the joint, but basically they try to distance from Jilani. The YouTube channel, what's it called?
American Muslim History.
American Muslim History?
Yes.
What type of game are y'all playing? I mean, what type of game are y'all playing? I mean, what other history do you have on your channel of American Muslims? There's American Muslims who are Arabs, Asians, Africans, Indigenous Americans, Caucasian Americans. What other American Muslim history do you have? You actually have the not even the history. You just have some videos of your cult.
Yep.
It's not even American Muslim history, but why did you name it that? Because number one, just like any other group or whatever that gets themselves into some hot water or wants a rebranding or is trying to flip the image, they change the name. Change the name, new logo, new this, and then they have these meetings. How can we get into this market or that market? Well, the numbers say that this type of group, this will resonate with certain people, or this is a negative aspect, so we need to take that out. And that's kind of what y'all did, whether y'all sat and did that or not. But y'all realized ain't nobody going for no our Sheikh Mubarak Jelani is the Mujaddid of the century. I will give you a test. I will give $100 to the person who does this. And if they come to me and tell me that they did it, send me a cash app, I'll send you $100. Go to your local masjid, maybe not your local masjid, but go to a Muslim, someone who's practicing, someone who knows, even a little bit about the religion, and say, my Murshid, Mubarak Jilani, is a perfect Murshid, and he's the Mujaddid of the century. And just tell me what they said. That's it. I'll give you $100 if you go to them and tell them that.
Get $100
and just tell me what the response was.
They about to lie to you, Mubarak. They're about to be like, yeah, he said, oh yeah, of course he is. I know too. And now he joined the Jamaat. Like they're about to make the story up.
Tell me who it was and give me their number so I can call them so we can laugh about it.
I won't mention any names, but there's a certain individual who's been going to different like halal restaurants and stores and asking like the cashiers if they ever heard of Mubarak Jelani or Noor. Right? And just the reactions they have is like, what? And
like, what?
They're like, have you ever heard of a female imam? They're like, huh? What?
Huh?
What?
Yeah.
What?
You know what? Maybe that's something that we should do. We should just go. We should just one day go out and just go on the next Eid. Maybe I'll do it. I'll just go out and just random Muslims and just ask them, say, hey, do you know who Sheikh Saeed Mubarak Jilani is? In America, right here in America, since y'all are representing American Muslim history, well, I mean, he's your main guy, so surely the American Muslims, the Muslims in America should know because he's the most prominent guy in their history, according to y'all. Yeah. And so I'm just going to ask him, do you know who he is? Did you know he's the Mujaddid of the century? Did you know he's the seventh Sultan? Did you know that he speaks directly to Allah? And I'm going to see what they say.
Did you know he saved you from the ghettos?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Did you know that he set up? Did you know that he set up a refuge, multiple of them, for the American, Indigenous American, African of descent Muslims for you to go? Did you know that? Did you know he set that up? If you but do, I mean, for as much as he did, nobody knows about it. I mean, that's amazing that someone could have done so much, but nobody knows. It's like this. See, they'll try to use the argument like this. Yeah, because he didn't want the praise, he didn't want the recognition. No, but usually when people do great things, it's like, yo, who did this? This is amazing. Like the pyramids or something like that. Yo, they're like, who did this, John? I mean, it's amazing. We don't know who did it, But this is outstanding. What is that thing that he did where people was like, we don't know what sheikh did this. We don't know what sheikh wrote this book or gave this, or taught this or did whatever this amazing thing for all these American Muslims. We don't know who it was. Yeah. Secretly, Mubarak Jelani just like, could you imagine him? People are looking to give credit to someone and he's keeping quiet about it.
Or like, oh wait, he's the teacher of so and so. He's the teacher of this person, that person. Oh, and, really? Wow.
If Mubarak Jelani was really not about credit, why did he have so many books made that he stole and put his name on and put them out for public? Like, so he wasn't like he was trying to be like nonchalant. He just wasn't that guy. I'm sorry. Like.
Well, here's the fast rebuttal to if anybody claims that he didn't want to be known. His main mission and his pet project for decades of being in the Jamaat was to distribute the Islamic Post. So he wanted to be known. He wanted to be heard throughout the world and throughout the nation. He made great efforts to try to get his name and what he was allegedly doing out there to the public through the Islamic Post and through other things. So that's just. That's bullcrap. And the thing, even like with this other channel, like they can't help but lie without even like realizing they're lying. TMOA youth, whatever. We're very clearly like it's very easy to tell that page is run by adults.
Yeah, very clear.
It's very clear. Y'all up there got a whole adults up there managing a page, acting like you're youth, putting the stuff out. You started off with a few videos of like children and some youth, and now. Can we please watch the video with the TMOA Nobel Peace Award?
Oh, yes. Yes. Sheikha Noor getting her award. Low key, this video had me shook. If y'all saw my video I posted yesterday, bro, I was terrible. Because the Mark line just spawned in. I was like, huh? Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's muted. Okay, even better.
Youth of TMOA.
Muslim Medical Relief Team, a testimonial of sincere appreciation presented to Sheikh Sayyida Zainab Adams Gilani, a true humanitarian leader.
True humanitarian leader.
It's so low I can't even hear it, man.
I know that the audio is terrible on YouTube.
I'll tell you what. That food stipend is not going low in TMOA.
That's good. That's crazy shit. Allahu Akbar.
Oh, I'm so surprised. Look at what I got.
Okay, for those who couldn't hear, maybe they couldn't hear it because I was having trouble here, but I saw the video and I basically they gave her an award, a humanitarian award for her amazing work in the flood or whatever, and whatever else. Number one, I mean, I would love for them to pan that camera around and see who actually was there. It was probably just them.
Well, but you could tell by the room because, like, if you have so you see where their table is, and they rented out a room or a conference room somewhere, a hotel or something. You could tell by who's in, how many people in the room by where they positioned their table. They positioned their table in the middle of the room, which means you didn't want to be too far away from the other people in the room. Which is, I mean, no one was there besides TMOA people.
Yeah. And the thing is, I mean, like, who? That's her brother giving her an award, so it's like, it's so tacky. And then everybody's standing up, but she didn't stand up. It's like usually when someone gets an award, I mean, they like stand up, like say something. She basically was like, yeah, all right, give me that.
Well, so here's the thing. So let me give you a little history about this award. This award was developed by TMOA, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. It was like a humanitarian award for lifetime service or something for whatever, blah, blah, blah. Same crap you just mentioned. Do you know who the first recipient of that reward? Remember, this is a TMOA award developed by TMOA, given by TMOA. Can anybody guess who the first recipient of that award was?
I believe that in order for someone to receive that award, they would have to be a perfect individual, all right, with no flaws. And
yes, Mubarak Jelani.
Excellent job.
Definitely was Jelani.
Mubarak Jelani. So you have basically the CEO of an organization develop an award, and then they award it to the CEO. And the second recipient of the reward is the next CEO. Like, so just think about this, people that are listening, and people in TMOA that are listening to this. Imagine R2F coming up with the Humanitarian of the Year award, right? And for great service and humanitarian efforts, and they do so much in the world and like better than anybody else. And then we award it to ourselves, right? This organization has done so much, sponsored by R2F, presented by R2F, winner R2F. That's exactly what she did. And then they're taking pictures, getting flowers. This is just so, like, when I watched it, like, everybody was kind of having the same feeling, like watching this, like, I can't believe they're doing this dumbness. This is so crazy.
And they're so tone deaf, and it's like, and fake. Let me tell you how these usually work. It's not the first time that a CEO or a leader has been given an award. It happens a lot, actually. But this is the difference. Usually, whenever we have a group or something and they want to acknowledge or give the leader or whatever an award, they always say, nah, listen, man, I don't want it. If they know ahead of time that you're trying to set up some award for them, they're like, no, don't do that. I'm not doing it. They even will tell you, don't do that. I'm not going to accept it sometimes, because they don't want to be put in the spotlight like that. They're like, yo, I did this for the sake of Allah. I don't want to be put in the spotlight, getting an award, And so what happens is they will be at the banquet or whatever, and they're giving other people awards out. And then someone comes out the back and say, we have one more award to give. And they surprise the leader with their award. Yep. And then he or she kind of like, I told y'all not to do this, but they're surprised by it.
Exactly.
She's sitting up there like ready for the award. She was the only one who got one, and she knew it was coming. She probably paid for the plaque herself.
And it's from the people. So it would have been like, the members of TMOA decided that you've been doing so much that we wanted to get you something, right? It'd be something like that from the people. So you have the people who funded this operation, right? They paid the $13,000 to send everybody over there, right? You have actual nurses and doctors that actually went over there and did. Remember, it was the American Medical whatever team,
yes, sir.
Right? How come none of them got the award? You are literally just a person that probably, said, hey, do this. And you got the award, even though like you have Dr. Jamil giving people shots of black market, whatever he was giving them, and you have them.
And like I said, and I guarantee you, and this is for those people of the AMMMMM, R double triple T, whatever it was, whatever y'all little group was. All right. Y'all can answer this for yourself. You don't need to answer out loud, but think to yourself. Was she the one who did the most work on the ground? Actually saw patients, bandaging people? Was she the one? I can Allah knows unseen. Now I'll just leave it at that. Was she the one? Was she the one that did the most heavy lifting and hard work and was on the grind, on the ground, dug in? Was she the one out of all of y'all who went that deserved to be singled out for an award for those efforts?
Wait, there's something that I noticed when I was watching this video, when I was doing my reaction, that I didn't cover it. Is that if you look at the footage they have, Dr. Jamil is the only one working there. All right. You have his brother, Akasim. He's next to him, right? Phone out, recording, right? Dr. Jamil has on his mask, his gloves. He has his brother there recording there. There's a little girl sitting there just watching too. They're not doing a thing. Dr. Jamil's doing a solo job. Like he's going Steph Curry on the patients. They're just
he's like sweating. He's like work. Yeah, you see him getting it in.
And everyone else is just like, yeah, man, yeah. Just smile. Oh yeah.
And then here's the thing too. So when you do these things, and this is how, Allah knows best everybody's intentions, right? But when we said in the beginning, they do these things for photo ops and recognition, this award ceremony just basically adds support to what we said in the very beginning. Because instead of doing the work, right? Because we, alhamdulillah, through various connections we have in R2F, we actually provided some help in Pakistan too. Yeah. We did not hold an award ceremony for the person that made that possible. We just did it, and then alhamdulillah, may Allah reward us for it. No, but you guys have to try to make it like we want to get someone here in this world needs to recognize what we're doing. And again, back to what we've been saying, like even with this content, we want the people in TMOA to recognize that we're doing this, because no one else outside is really like paying attention to this. And why are you putting this out? Because you want TMOA members to, we're not going to really talk about it, but we know why you're putting out all this stuff to try to make certain people look in a certain light, specifically the medical team, because, you know, maybe you want people to forget something that
things that
they
transpired.
did. Yeah.
Not looking good for y'all. So do we want to cover the us going, or our content going forward now, or do we do this later?
You know, whatever. I really want to touch on this thing. This really has been burning my it's been burning my my backside, really, just because of the, listen, I have lots of daughters, and I think to myself, if my own daughter were to say this after I'm dead, I mean, after I'm dead, it wouldn't matter, but still, if I knew about it, I would be pissed. But you have Ali Abdul Rashid, who longtime member, follower of Jilani, and basically, long story short, his last you know, in the twilight of his tenure, you know, as a Talib, and the twilight of his life, he was humiliated and treated very, very badly by Mubarak Jilani, and from all accounts, it was undeserved, and it was wrong. And you know, you might have a lot of people who are afraid to say that. His friends, we have friends of his that will tell you straight up, it was wrong what happened to him. He was not treated well. It was bad. But if anyone should be, you know, on the forefront of saying, hey, listen, man, my father didn't deserve the treatment that he got at the end of his life, where, I mean, wasn't even given an honorable burial, and treated in a way that someone who spent as much time as he did in service of the Jamaat and in service of his sheikh or whatever. But that's not the most egregious thing, because Jilani is nobody to him, really. At the end of the day, he's not a family member. He just was a alleged teacher or whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, he's nobody to him. However, his own daughter on that TMOA, his American Muslim history, is sitting there praising Jilani for all the things that he did. And it's like, he treated your father like trash. He really trashed your father. And for her to have anything good to say, and not only that just have anything good to say, if it was, you know, actually legitimate, genuinely, you know, things that, but it actually was just so much propaganda and fabrication. So it was cringeworthy to watch. Yeah. And I feel like that is something that if nothing can wake these people up, the fact that a person would, someone that they loved and dearly, and actually I don't know of a single person, not even one person, and someone can call in or leave in the chat or whenever, message us, email, phone call, whatever, text, and tell me one person on the face of the earth that said to themselves, I don't like Ali Abdul Rashid. I don't like him. He's a bad person. I never met a single person who didn't love him. Like, out of all the people in TMOA, I think he's one of the people that across the board, everybody loved him. And he was good to everybody. He never really had, he would get on us at retreats and stuff, kind of like, you know, monitor, but we loved him. I mean, like, it was never an issue where we thought, man, he's you know, he's a bad dude. No one across the board. Jilani is the only one who I have, there's any record of them literally saying, you know, something negative and bad against him. And, you know, I just, not to rail for too long, but that's something that really, really just burns me up. The fact that, you know, if anyone should come to his defense, it should be, you know, his children. And for his daughter to sit up there and be, you know, praising Jilani like that in a puff piece, propaganda filled, fabrication filled video was just, it was disgusting to me.
it's really mind-boggling when you look at some of these cases. And this is how, like you said, they should, for people to sit back and look at it objectively, this should be a sign for like, wow, like this really is a cult because people are brainwashed, right? We have children turning against their fathers, and like even another example is where like the children of the late Khalifa Jamil, who Jelani has labeled the devil of Islamberg and had people desecrate his grave and stomp on his grave, and their children, his children, will still praise and follow Mubarak Jelani. Like this stuff is just it's very cringeworthy. And like when you know these things that go on behind the scenes, especially like Ali Abdul Rashid, we know how like Mubarak Jelani has talked about him, has said to him, has humiliated him and has insulted him, insulted all of Black culture and African Muslims and everything. Like, and then, like you said, it's really, people should really look at this and be like, wait a minute, something is wrong with this. Because even if Mubarak Jelani was deserving of all that propaganda and praise, a child would naturally be like, you know what? I'm not gonna, even though he did do these good things, I'm not about to be going on here and promoting the guy that dishonored and disrespect and debased my father.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, who are you doing it for? This isn't for you, because we mentioned all things he did to your father. You know what he did to your father. And I know for me, like, if people have disrespected my parents, and my parents are, you know, quick to forgive them, right? They're like, it's okay, we moved on. I never move on. All right. You disrespect my parents, that goes on for life. Like, there's people in the Jamaat who have called my parents kafirs, munafiqs, they're going to hell. And my parents will still help them out if need be. I'm the opposite way. Like, my parents, the love that you should have for your parents, and people just throw to the wayside because they value Jelani more than their parents, is actually saying to me, I don't see how your parents do so much for you your whole life, and this man who is thousands of miles overseas, who you never met before, haven't seen, only on Zoom call, you hold such an admiration and love for him over your own parents, is actually saying to me, your siblings too. I don't see the hold he has on them.
The hadith, we already know the well-known hadith, your mother. We should all know the well-known hadith of your father's the middle gate paradise.
Yep.
And these things should, help direct how we handle our affairs in this world. Priority in things. And I'm still yet to come across any ayat or hadith that puts a sheikh or a murshid or a sultan or any of these titles you want to give anybody above your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Still have not found one.
Mental illness.
So do we want to chat about the new format real quick and then take some questions? We can kind of wrap it up.
Sure. So I have been proposing the idea for 3 years now, according to this Discord that I created 3 years ago, about us moving to Discord. And while Zoom is fine, Zoom does its job well. There's no problem with Zoom. The only problem with Zoom is that for anything over 40 minutes, you have to pay for it. And Discord is free. It would just take some getting used to for some people, and I can like walk the people through it. But I feel like for the R2F show going forward, we should try to at least maybe do some practice stuff beforehand, obviously, where we test out the viability of Zoom, just other things, because eventually R2F, we want to move away from having these 2-hour-long live shows and just give you guys more clips, so we can have like, okay, we have more 8-minute clip here, 10-minute clip here, and we upload this on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or something along those lines. So that way we have a less of a daunting task. Because for a lot of people, sure, they listen to the show as, a podcast, background audio when they do other things, studying or whatever they're going through the day. But for the most part, for interaction with YouTube and all the things of that nature, you want to have more shorter clips. And then after we got the clips out the show, we'll upload the full show on YouTube or some other platform. But we're always thinking of ways to improve the show, improve our dawah efforts, and to best use the time that we have, because for Mubarak, Jaffer, and I, despite how it seems, we do have a lot of things going on, and we don't always have time to. That's why the show keeps changing and stuff, because our schedule is changing. We have things going on in our personal lives, and school and all the things, and work. So those are something that we are closing out, and we will have more coming in the future, inshallah. But we're just throwing ideas out there. We want to get your feedback and see how you guys would receive this, and let you know your thoughts going forward. But I do for sure want to get us to go to Discord, at least the show that we do on Discord instead of on Zoom. It also helped improve the quality of the show. We go from 720 to 1080p, and just small little minor things that we can adjust. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I think it'll be better too, because like, you know, one thing that we want to do is also have kind of like an exclusive type access to the full show itself. So if you want to watch the whole show, you can have some kind of privilege given or something like that. But then just only cut out, like you said, cut out the relevant parts that we could put out in clips on YouTube for people to watch later or at their own time. And put us more videos out there for people to watch. And it'll be more manageable also for people that are watching it. They can watch like a 10-minute video instead of a hour-and-a-half video. Like I said, the video quality will be better. But as you said, if you have any concerns, questions, or whatever, you're free to contact us through our email, WhatsApp, and whatever else. If you have any videos or any things or any topics that you want us to address in a video, send your ideas in, and we could try to take care of them. We do not have a cult staff.
Yeah.
But we'll try to get something out for you.
Yep. And if you're wondering, yes, we still are going to do interviews. If you want to come on the show and do your interview, please feel free. We welcome you with open arms, because everyone's story is different. Everyone's story helps someone in some different ways. Because it's like at a certain point, we mention this all the time, but as much as the show does well, people are tired of hearing about Mubarak Jaffer and I speak. All right. So it's always good to have someone come in and be a fourth guest, and speak on their experiences in the Jamaat or just anything. It doesn't have to be from Jamaat, you can just tell your story. So if you're interested in coming on, please, again, the show is always open to invite. Reach out to Jaffer, Mubarak, and I, and we can coordinate coming on the show, inshallah.
Any questions we got?
I don't think I saw
Let's
any.
see. Good. All right.
All right, hold
Who's
up.
gonna close this out? Okay, go ahead.
Let me rail on these people real quick because okay, let me get serious. Listen, man. I mean, oh boy, they really annoy me. And so let me just say this. We get a lot of constructive criticism about our lack of formality and kind of like we should be more proper and formal and when we do the show, but they make it really hard, and
Yes.
we're not professional, broadcasters or whatever you want to say. We're and hopefully maybe 10 years from now, maybe we'll have the top YouTube channel in the country, and people say, man, these guys came from this. Yeah, so we humble beginnings, but give us a chance. But some of this stuff, you got to ask yourself. I mean, ask yourself, would you be able to keep it together if you saw stuff like this? This is the type of stuff that you were dealing with. I'm looking at the channel, American Muslim History, and this is the TMOA Propaganda wing. This is the TMOA Propaganda channel. And if you go to About, right? You go to the channel, you go to About, and they give you a little rundown of what this joint is about. So listen, you have to understand, this is TMOA, the people who say Jilani is their perfect Murshid Kamil, right? This is their guy. He's the Mujaddid of the century, XYZ. Look at what they say. American history books tell his story, but on this channel, you will find our story. Okay, I'm like, all right, I'm feeling that. All right, let's see. Muslims arrived here before the founding of the United States. Yes, long before modern technology was available to capture and document events of early American Muslim history. Tell me if you realize that something is quite wrong here when you realize who this channel is, who's producing this channel. Because did Jilani not say that America was, the people in America were slaves because there's no Islam in America, and he basically was he claimed to be the one who implemented Islam in America. Anyway, so it says document events of early American Muslim history. Islam was spread to and practiced in the West. American Muslims have been largely overlooked because and you're overlooking them now. Anyway, okay, let me stick to it. Overlooked because they were not always free to practice their faith. Some were even enslaved, so they were, for the most part, unable to leave records of their beliefs. But left just enough to confirm that Islam in America is not an immigrant religion, lately making itself known. It's not an immigrant religion. Now think about this. Think about where they're getting their religion from. They're getting
From
their
an immigrant.
from an immigrant.
Not even an immigrant. Someone, a visitor.
Yeah, not even an immigrant.
Tourist. A tourist.
Religion lately making itself known, but a tradition with deep roots here, despite being among the most suppressed in the nation's history. Fortunately, due to modern technology, American Muslims and their descendants are able to share the events in American Muslim history. Not one word about TMOA, the Muslims of the Americas. Not one word about Milad. Not one word about the 6 Sultan Mujahid of the century, but on the channel, the videos
every single one,
just TMOA propaganda.
Hey, say you're like a brand new kid out of high school, doesn't know anything about Islam, like nothing. You go to college, you get a research paper about Muslims in America, and you happen upon this channel that says American Muslim history. You're gonna go and do your report like, this man Mubarak Jelani came and brought Islam to America, and he guided all the, and everybody in the class will be looking like, what are you talking about?
And it's like, sir, yeah, definitely, because I mean, they're not gonna cite any sources here at all. They just have a bunch of these videos like, it's not even saying anything at all. Half of it is just like utter garbage, and the other half is just more garbage. So you have 100% garbage on your channel, and you guys post this stuff, right, for the whole world to see and for us to see, and then it's so stupid, right? It's so stupid, and you expect us to sit here, right, see this complete foolishness, and then be like, yo, Jafar Mubarak Amr, how dare you guys laugh at this? How it's funny. Like, what do you want us to do?
Look at the banner on this channel. It says American Muslim history. Then it says documenting the life-changing events of Muslims in the Americas.
Wait,
bro,
pull it up again, because they have this new thing, right? Which I figured out they didn't change yet. Go pull up the page again. I wonder if you can see it. Can you go look at their tag? They're at, yeah, because I think it's still at TMOA historical events.
Imagine. Where do you find that?
Do they have it on there? No, they don't have it on there.
They don't have it on there. They have it on ours.
But yeah, so the thing is you know how like anybody ever deal with a pathological liar? Mm-hmm. Like someone that they just can't help but lie, right? And they lie so bad that it's so bad like they don't realize when people like know they're lying, right? So like, you can even tell them like, no, I know you're lying, and they just stick to like TMOA has been lying for so many decades that they don't even recognize this stuff as anything wrong with it. But as soon as you take one step outside of this circus, you're like, these people are freaking nuts. They're seriously freaking nuts, because anybody in the right mind looking or listening to any of this, like, yo, this is full of crap. Like, even when they like those videos like, what did he do? Like, they're trying to answer our questions. What did he do? They put a whole poem on there, and she said, what did he do? He did what you looking at.
At all. Yep.
What he did is what he did. And what he's gonna do was what he's gonna do. And what he did is what he did. And that's what he did.
She was like,
you realize he didn't say not one damn thing.
He was like, there are known knowns, and then there are unknown knowns, and then there's things that we don't know. No, but on the TMOA page, it says, the Muslims of America, TMOA, was founded by His Eminence Hazrat Sheikh Said Mubarak Ali Tajilani, Hashimi El Hussein, Husni. Okay, anyway, the reviver of the Qadri order. We are the third and fourth iterations of his blessed guidance. We are TMOA's proud youth. This is a channel where we share our over 40 years of love of Allah and Holy Messenger. Our media genre will be quite
your
vast.
Youth. You didn't do it for 40 years.
Don't expose them.
You guys some 60-year-old man talking about he's TMOA youth. I mean, listen, and that whole channel is a farce too, because this is the thing that they don't realize. We grew up there. We know that there's the youth, as in the people who literally are not old enough or capable enough to leave. As soon as someone gets like teenager age,
That
usually they're gone. The lands are ghost towns as far as, you know, you have like maybe 10-year-old and under, lots of little kids running around there. But I would think that majority of the lands are made up of people who are 50 and over, 40 and over, maybe the people who actually might be living there or frequent there. And then you have those people whose kids are not old enough to just go do something else on their own. That's what you have for the most part. You have a few.
Was it like where? Because the thing is, when you get, you know how you mentioned earlier when like you go back to like what a scholar said, or you go back to the source. Now I was listening to one of the lectures earlier, and it was like, when you go, you have to go back to the sources of knowledge and the original positions. And when you stick to those, you won't contradict yourself, right? So no matter whatever TMOA says, they always contradict themselves. Where was it that someone posted a status or a memo or something, and they were complaining about how TMOA is losing their youth,
Mhm.
right?
yeah.
It was like our youth are leaving, they're on drugs, they're this and that, right? So this obviously but you're trying to promote like, oh yeah, we just got these happy youth, they're just here living and thriving. No, they're leaving. They're leaving. You complain about them leaving, right? And we have a whole speech given by K2 where he's saying 90% of the members of TMOA are committing adultery and fornication.
Yeah.
90%. So the 99, this is percentage, right? So
Yep.
90%, 90% of your Jamaat is committing adultery and fornication. Where's your videos addressing adultery and fornication? Where's those videos? No, you're just gonna make like everything's so great and happy and peaceful and we're self-sufficient. We live in these great Muslim villages where everything's practiced, and there's all these youth just becoming doctors and lawyers and engineers and ruling the world and doing charity and going to Pakistan and doing humanitarian efforts. Like everybody knows it's all fake and it's all a lie.
I mean, y'all just had a shootout. Just had
Not
a
to-
shootout on one of the lands.
Yep.
We got
Yep.
window creepers and all types of stuff. I mean, it's like let's not pretend like everything is wonderful. And that's one of the things that, you know, when you, and for the people in TMOA, I mean, you got to look at that and be like, they're sitting here painting a picture on these propaganda channels as if everything is perfect, and y'all know it ain't. Y'all know it's
Mhm.
not. So I mean,
Mhm.
are you gonna literally let them, you know, make you let's say a crap sandwich, and you're actually gonna eat it? So they're like,
Yep.
yo, this is peanut butter, and you're like, you know exactly what it is, and you're still gonna take a bite out of that joint. I mean, that's basically the equivalent of what y'all doing, because I mean, they literally just running that propaganda. It's like where you have the communist dictator where they control the TV stations, and basically it's like the leader is great and everything, and we have the best
North
tasting
Korea.
food. Yeah, North Korea, basically North Korea, straight up. You know? They just don't feel like it, but
Now, this
Come out to the road and everybody throw flowers and smile and
make sure
laugh.
you're happy.
You
Now,
know,
and this is the thing too, is that
giving
like
fake awards,
Yeah.
You ever read the joke that where Kim Jong-un is like, every time he golfs, he gets a hole in one. He's never
Yep.
missed a shot.
Yep.
All those, you know, this is basically what they're doing. That Kim Jong-un like,
Yep.
where they're giving the leader an award for, you know, all her efforts, and you know, on those bus what she actually did. But this is the type of situation y'all in. Y'all should come to that realization. We're trying to point it out to you, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make
them drink it. Yeah, no, this is the thing too, is that like even when I was in the Jamaat, right? It wasn't like people my age, because I'm 25 now. It wasn't people my age were like just, oh, we're so happy to be part of the Jamaat, and we're just gonna do it. As soon as they got the chance to go like 5 miles from the land, they were gone. they were going to anything. They were getting to any kind of foolishness they couldn't do. And I know for me, they were always like, listen, I remember this brother told me that I had to run security on the land, right? And he was telling me how I had to run security on the land. So I live like 15 miles from the land, right? So he was like, your shift is at 9 p.m., right? So I need you to tell your parents your shift is at 9 p.m. Ask them to come drive you to the land so that you can do your shift on security, right? My parents were asleep, all right? I was not going to ask them to go drive me to the land to do a shift on security for the Red House land. So I didn't do that, right? And so I see him again the next day, and he's like, where were you for your shift? I was like, my shift. I'm like, I'm not doing no shifts. Like you're not gonna like. So I was never going to do a shift. I never did a shift of security on land, any land. I was never going to a retreat. I went to like 2 halachas. So I was checked out. All of my friends who were around my age group checked out. So this proud youth, majority of the videos posted on here is either like toddlers who don't know any better because they're just there with their parents, or it's y'all for like Ahmed Pearson's is inside one of these videos. He's not a youth.
Grown ass man.
Yeah. Noor, K2, Jelani, like these aren't the youth of TMOA. The youth of TMOA is leaving in droves because they have options now.
Well, see, the thing is, what happens, we know this, right, with just the nature of people, is they're making such an effort to put out content, right, that they can't even, like, when you tell the truth, there's a quote, I forget the quote, but basically it's like, when you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory, right? Because you always tell the truth. When you lie, you have to have a very good memory because you have to keep up with what you're saying. So when they started that channel, they're like, yeah, we're gonna be youth, and we're gonna post about youth and youth videos. But they just started to put out so much, like, oh, I like this, I want to be seen, I want to show this. So they start putting out a bunch of videos about adults, right? So it's very clear, and you can see by the comments, and you can kind of, I mean, if you really wanted to figure out who's actually running the channel, you can just go look at the comments and see which families are commenting the most, and you can tell who's running the video, right? So very clear.
Yep. And like they had one video of like the retreat, maybe 2 videos of the retreat, and then after that, it's like, okay, they literally cannot get youth to come on their platform because if I was running the TMOA youth channel, I would literally have only like teenagers to young adults on the channel because that would be the whole thing. I would just like, okay, well, this is so and so. Oh, this is literally this channel should be about like Shafiq Tahir and like their journey as
youth. They ain't youth either. Like, I mean, come on, you guys are grown, married men. Like, know some real youth. But I mean, saying, I get
like,
you.
At least they're younger. Like this man Shafiq is like 26.
At least under 30. Like,
yeah. This man Shafiq is like 26, 27. So like, at least them.
You can't be. You definitely can't be. I would say 30 is pushing it.
Yeah.
You definitely cannot be. You can't be in your mid-30s talking about or definitely not 40s. But I mean, yeah, 30 is too old. You got to be at least in your 20s. I would say 25 or under to be like you.
And if you got a kid, you out of there. You know how to use them.
Nah.
Once you have children of your own, you're not a youth. Like, yeah, if you're married and got a kid, you're not a youth. You're
you are an adult. Yeah, you were a full adult.
But I'm gonna say this is gonna be my last thing. I promise y'all. I'm not gonna say nothing else after this. This channel is a gold mine, though. I mean, I know
it's pure content.
Like, hold up. The name of this channel, please, my TMOA brethren, listen to me carefully. The name of this channel is American Muslim History. They got a documentary on here about Kashmir. Like, it's like so the channel description said it's documenting life-changing events in American Muslim history. Y'all ain't got nothing. I can see, listen, y'all could have had the Gettysburg Address on here or something, anything. I mean, y'all could anything American. I would have like, all right, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever. They got a documentary on here about Kashmir. It says Kashmir, Sheikh Mubarak Jilani, the humanitarian. This dude ain't an American, and he ain't got nothing to do with the history here. And the documentary is about Kashmir. But let me ask you something. This documentary is about Kashmir on the American Muslim History Channel. All right, maybe you're saying, okay, these American Muslims, they did a rally or whatever for Kashmir. Where's y'all rally for anything American and Muslim? Anything. Anything. Nothing. There's no rally or humanitarian efforts or whatever about American Muslims. But Kashmir, why? Because that's important to a dude who not even an immigrant. He didn't even immigrate here. He was not born here. I'm talking about Jilani. He wasn't born here. He wasn't raised here. He did not live here. He visited here, snatched a couple young girls and went back. that's it. He visited here for a few years or whatever, but the vast overwhelming majority of his life was spent in Pakistan and other places. It wasn't here.
Mhm.
Why you have a documentary on the American Muslim History Channel where people would go? I did a search and look, it was kind of hard to find it in the list of searches, but I did find it. Just like I just put it in a search, American Muslim History, and I actually had to put in channel there to kind of get it to even come up within a reasonable amount of time. But the point was, just like Jaffer said, if someone wanted to do some research, legit, they're trying to do some research on American Muslim history, they might come across this channel. And what do they find? Stuff that ain't about American Muslims. It's not even the history of American Muslims. This is a lie. This channel is a lie. Just like has been a lie for 40 years. It's been a lie and a fraud and a crock. And now the new propagandized, rebranded version is still a lie. I can see if you rebranded yourself and then was truthful on it. Put some stuff about Malcolm X maybe, or, go through the history of NOI and how they were. But probably what would happen is if you put NOI on there and start to document how they were deviant and what they did, the fraudster who started that joint.
Yeah, light that channel up.
Yep.
You'll be like, yo, it's the same playbook.
I know y'all ain't talking. about to come smoke y'all.
Please, those black nationalists will come on that channel and roast Jelani.
Umar gonna go crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, I thought that was amazing that American Muslim History Channel has the one the documentary that they do have on here is one for Kashmir. So I think maybe y'all should be like, at this rate, y'all really should name it the Kashmiri Muslim rally channel or whatever, because that's majority of the content is basically towards that. You got a few things sprinkled in here, but it definitely is not American Muslim history.
Well said. Well said. The last thing I'm gonna say is that you can tell that a lot of these videos are old because in one of these videos, this man has an iPhone 4, man. It's like maybe at some point you have a feed, but
let's see. Miss Baudine asked, why don't they protest African American issues? Well, it was a specific directive by Mubarak Jelani that Muslims of America were not to get involved in any African American issues. So he specifically told them, and there's a great article actually out there now on our WordPress account that everybody should read about how Mubarak Jelani stole or separated TMOA from the African American heritage, even to the fact today that they're not even going to get involved in African American issues that we deal with every day. But this is the African American History Channel, of course. It's ridiculous. So I think that's it. Mubarak, would you like to close this out with some words? You're muted. You're muted, Mubarak.
Sorry, I forgot. I thought you were doing the closing.
Well, I could. I mean, I don't got nothing, but I could close if you want us to. Want me to? That's fine.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I got caught up in looking at this channel, man. I got a lot more to say, but I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna save it for another day.
We'll save it for next show.
They're probably gonna struggle. Yeah.
The good thing is that we don't have to prepare much anymore because just go click on the channel and watch the video. And it's something for us to talk about. But yeah, so we talked about some of the videos on there. For all of our viewers, please go ahead and go view those videos because it's going to give you a lot of stuff to actually use for as far as dawah for these people. Also, the way YouTube algorithms work, the more people of ours that watch their videos means that the people that watch their videos will be promoting our videos. This is how it works.
So it all comes full circle. So
yeah,
their falsehood will never outweigh the truth that they're trying to obtain, and they're not really saying anything. Once again, if you believe that your channel popping up and you guys putting out content, this is in no way a refutation of anything that we're saying at all. You're kind of trying to skate around the issue, and it's actually just very lazy for the most part from what I'm seeing. I haven't found one video on there that was actually like worthwhile watching. It's more so just like laughter or just disappointment for the most part. And so I want better for y'all as you should want better for us. So y'all need to hey, listen, I mentioned this some time ago. Listen, y'all have this channel now, you have multiple channels now. why don't y'all, and this is proposition from me, why don't y'all start doing live shows? All right, start doing live shows, right, with questions, with anything, so that we can come, right? Because again, the R2F show, right, for the excusers of the Jamaat and Jilani, right? The R2F show is tainted, and you can't come on our show because, well, obviously you're gonna lose, but you can't come on our show because we joke too much, we laugh too much, we say the N-word, and whatever other excuses you want to use to try to scurry around the issue. So you guys will use that as an excuse. But listen, your platform, right? Because of course, is your platform also just tainted, right? It's can't be no. So our show, we've always said, for anyone in the Jamaat, our show was open invite. So what I want y'all to do, right? This is a challenge to y'all, the men of the Jamaat. I know you have to ask permission from your sheikha, all right, in order to, oh yeah, sheikha, can we please go do this? So go ask your sheikha Nor, right? And ask if y'all can have permission to do a live show, and then invite Mubarak Jaffer and I on the live show. That is my challenge to y'all. I know y'all can do it, but go
even less than that. Do a live show. Actually, and they'll never do this. Do a live show that allows live public comments and questions in the chat that everybody can see. Because so far the stuff that y'all ever did, like, is always closed. People can't see the comments. People can't see the questions. So you guys could delete or ignore whatever you want to ignore. You know, this should be a sign to y'all that, like, hey, something's wrong with the fact that I can't be public about our beliefs. Also, go ahead and produce a video that we have a whole series that refutes your whole belief set on our channel. You're not going to educate the people about the belief of the seven sultans and explain how it comes from the Quran and the Sunnah and how it's a correct Islamic belief. You're not going to you're not going to explain your core principle belief. Do it, but you won't. Where's your Islamic educational stuff? Where's any of that stuff, right? Or do you have to pay to go to your fake university to learn these big bad secrets of Islam that thousands of creators and content and sheikhs and teachers are publishing for free online? So those are two channels. Amr gave you a challenge: have a live show, invite us on as guests, right? You control the thing. Have a live show where people can come in there and ask open questions that everybody sees. That way, when someone posts a question, they can see that, oh, they're ignoring that person, or they won't answer that question. So it can clearly show that you guys are full of crap. Or post some videos teaching the world about your beliefs, about the seven sultans, about how your sheikh can see where you're at all times, how your sheikh goes and to the preserved tablets and reads the future, and how he goes and speaks directly to Allah or something. Put this stuff on your channel, but you won't.
So I'll close this out, because if I just saw something that we can't do it, because it's about to have a whole 3 hours, because I just
oh gosh got me interested.
Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.